Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and I'm bringing this to you from the beautiful west of Ireland. And this is a three-part video on the super important topic of linking Vedic astrology to psychodynamic Western astrology and healing modalities. So this part one video is called Delving Deeper into Our Vastness. In fact, as I said, there are three videos altogether, so part two is the fuller landscape of the self and healing methods, and part three is bridging Vedic astrology and Western psychodynamic astrology. So this is a call to immerse yourself in the vastness of Vedic astrology. Vedic astrology can provide a full declaration of our scripts, our consciousness, our behaviour, and our sense of self in this lifetime. However, knowing Vedic astrology is only one part. Proper use and the right response of what it utters is the second part. We need to bring in understanding of our unconscious self and our shadow self and bring in needed healing approaches. So this video and blog is about achieving the fullness of what Vedic astrology can offer, which is indeed a vast offering. But the need to also go beyond it into areas and methods which connect us to our unconscious and shadow material, which is indeed vast too, so as to contact the buried power and beauty buried there, and heal the hurts and wounds that are also there, often denied, but affecting us most powerfully. Vedic astrology really can provide the vastest declaration of our scripts, our consciousness, our behaviour patterns, our sense of self in this life. But there is the clear risk that it remains just super intelligent formula if you don't then make the right response to that and the right use of that. If you don't also go beyond that to receive nourishment and healing from your unconscious realms. Mantra and yoga postures and remedies can indeed strengthen us and connect us to the divine faces of the planets. But more is needed to make the needed healing and empowerment to the fullness of ourself and to the unconscious dimensions of ourself. Mantra and yoga can be powerful and healing, but they do depend on the actual true level of consciousness of the person doing them and their level of awareness and healing, if they're not to be just overlay or formula. So, Vedic astrology truly can give us the most valid perceptions of our karmas in this life, of our incarnational life purpose, of our destiny dimensions, of our central forward life path in this incarnation, of our personal life scripts, and of our relationship scripts. But then the crucial step is to go further than its traditional formula and identify the deep tasks of healing and empowerment as well. We need also to get into the fullness of the landscape of ourself. We need also to encompass our unconscious and our dream self dimension to get to know the true fullness of the landscape of ourself. Vedic astrology certainly has some dimensions that can do this, that those need to be handled and used in more than just a brilliant formulaic way. The formulaic rigid scope that is often communicated by Vedic astrologers has many roots in ancient cultural and mindset issues that just aren't spiritually justified, and in excess are actually spiritually detrimental. The level of consciousness needs to rise now at these very tense crossroad times. The longer those who have the ability and wisdom to bring a person to such perception are silent, the longer the struggle between consciousness and Maya will persist. As my colleague Leah Cruz from Florida writes, there's no such thing as a complete path anymore. History is far too destructive for every ancient practice on earth. I feel deeply and have seen that bringing the different paths together fills in the missing pieces for each, thus accelerating one's spiritual growth and lessening the chances of the individual falling victim to the formulaic topics which you address here. Communicating the necessary bonding together is key, so that others, those with the capacity to see that this is true, can answer this call. What we are all needing now is indeed revolutionary. As I ask my own self, she writes, if we can see the answer but do not speak it, are we really embodying the purpose we were meant for? And so I would like to say that the wonderful methods of Vedic astrology I've been referring to here as pointing to the fuller sense of ourself include the emotional consciousness-based declarations about us, warts and all, that are offered by the utterly wonderful nakshatras, the utterly wonderful 27-sign lunar zodiac of Vedic astrology. The list is long, 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 but also there's the deep inner conflicts of having planets in our chart in Ashtamamshapadas. That is a wonderful tool too, for going beyond merely intellectual formula. There's the complex vastness and insubstantiality of planet placements in Gandanta zones, Pushkara, Vargotama. There's several wonderfully valuable Varga or divisional charts. I could perhaps name or pick out especially the D9, the Navamsha, the chart of our past life, of our relationship issues in this life, and the statement of our ideal ashram that we need to move towards in this life. There's the D12, declaring parents and recent past life. There's the, there's the D30, the Trimshamsha, good and evil. And of course in the Rashi birth chart there's the greater dimensions of the 8th house and the 12th house. But as I always add in when I do a reading, there's the fuller dimensions of our self and our unconscious self. And these can indeed be stated by psychodynamic Western astrology. Crucial issues like having unaspected sub-personalities declared by our psychodynamic Western astrology chart, the existence of which we may not be aware of consciously, but nevertheless may be powerfully directing our actions and life choices, leaving us wondering, why did I do that? What's driving me? And then there's the nature versus nurture statement offered by Western psychodynamic astrology. And of course, there is obviously the needed inclusion of the outer planets into Vedic astrology, which became manifest in our consciousness at around the time of their discovery. Uranus, the planet of revolution. Neptune, the planet of negatively illusion, but positively needed visions and intuitions. There's Pluto, the planet of our power issues, including negative power over us, or that we use over others, and super importantly, our own true and positive power that may have been denied to us and is buried and consigned to the shadow. And if only we can contact that and raise it into our consciousness and embodiment. Uranus, Neptune and Pluto are of course often included in the astrological declaration of the Neo-Vedic astrologers. But most importantly, there's also Chiron, the wounded healer. There is such an important need to know about Chiron, our existential wound, in the healing of which we can become the healer of others. So this completes part 1 of the 3 videos, which are all about Vedic astrology linking to psychodynamic Western astrology and healing modalities. Do go on to parts 2 and 3. Part 2 is about the fuller landscape of the self and healing methods. Part 3 is about bridging Vedic astrology and Western psychodynamic astrology. The links to these and all the other parts of our September Star Wheel Astrology Healing magazine are on the September website page of my Star Wheel Astrology website. Go to that. Check out the links to the next 2 videos about this topic, the blog itself, and all the other blogs and videos that are on offer for September 2021. Get in touch with me for a reading where of course I always encompass both the vastness of Vedic astrology and also Western psychodynamic astrology. You can get in touch with me for a reading by going to the buy page on my Star Wheel Astrology website. And I look forward very much to giving you one of my learned and healing readings. Thank you so much.